Welcome to Trippy Commentaries and our WWE RAW reactions. It's Labor Day, and we had a very interesting episode of RAW tonight where we saw John Cena team up with Y2J, Jericho, and Roman Reigns, man. What a teaming up, and of course they went after the Authority. We'll break down the entire night for you guys. I'm RJ, joined up with Retro Bret.
Yo, what's happening, people?
Coming in live via satellite from Des Moines, Iowa is Corey. C-Dub, what the hell is there to do in Iowa?
Well, RJ, I'm up here in Hawkeye country. There is a ton of wrestling history in the state of Iowa, most of it on the amateur mats. But tonight we saw the biggest and the baddest in the WWE in that big six-man tag team main event. We're kicking it right off, guys. We had Chris Jericho, as we were told last week, would be hosting the highlight reel with his guest, the Viper Randy Orton. Raw kicked right off the bat with Chris Jericho in the ring, who basically told us that his guest tonight has been handed everything his entire life, his entire career, talking about Randy Orton. Rather than Randy Orton himself, we are joined by the entire Authority, Triple H, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Kane. Triple H goes on to tell us that he is contemplating naming a new #1 contender for Night of Champions. Orton goes on to say that it should be him. He's a 12-time champion, third-generation star. Kane says that he might dig up his mask and become the Demon again and take the title one more time, as he is also a former champion. And then Seth Rollins makes his case to his home state crowd and gets a really, really good reaction. I mean, Seth Rollins was getting great reactions all night. Jericho then pretty much pleads his case. I mean, he says he's a 6-time world champion, and of course Jericho was the first undisputed champion. But then we hear John Cena's music hit, out comes the franchise player of the WWE. Cena then goes on to say that he can and will defeat Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions, and if Triple H takes away his rematch, he is prepared to sue Triple H and the WWE. He will then take ownership of the company and personally fire Triple H. That was kind of a ridiculous talking point there, I thought. But either way, Triple H goes on to say that being COO is all about doing what's best for business for the WWE. Okay, all right. It's the WWE, but whatever. He goes on to say that Cena's career ending at Night of Champions at the hands of Brock Lesnar is not best for business. Seth Rollins, who is, of course, Mr. Money in the Bank, guys, says there's always a plan B. Orton demands that he gets a rematch from the winner of the Night of Champions main event. Basically, after that, he goes on to say that if Roman Reigns, who was the one who prevented him from recapturing the title, was there right then and there, he would drop him. Of course, out comes Roman Reigns through the crowd, dares Orton to drop him. Orton does nothing. Roman Reigns brags then about last week nearly smashing Seth Rollins' head up against the ring post with a cinder block. Roman Reigns throws his name into the hat for the WWE title picture, and Triple H makes that big, massive main event that we saw tonight. Cena, Jericho, and Reigns versus Orton, Rollins, and Kane. Triple H says that he would be watching and see who stands out as far as getting the big title shot at Night of Champions. At the end there, Seth Rollins tried to hit Roman Reigns with the Money in the Bank briefcase, guys, but he got nailed by Roman before he could. Guys, this was a pretty huge segment to start off Raw. Retro Bret, what did you think about mixing all 6 of these huge stars?
Well, first of all, I think that was a great way to start off Raw. It's like Triple H said, you know, he doesn't know if Cena is, it's best for business to have Brock and Cena again.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with him. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I think he's kind of angling for a fail 4-way or a bigger match, more participants. I don't know. What do you think about that, Corey?
That could certainly be the case. I feel like, Cena versus Lesnar 2 is still, or I guess Cena versus Lesnar 3 now, is still a big money match. RJ, what do you think? I mean, do you think that we're actually going to see it change, or do you think this was just a little hurdle in the road for John Cena, perhaps, to stretch this storyline out a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to see John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. There's no doubt about it. He has the rematch clause. That's what, he's going to go as far to sue Triple H. I mean, that's retarded. But regardless, it's definitely going to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. This is just a way of extending the storyline, teaming up these guys to do a 3-on-3 match. We all know that Roman Reigns should have a chance, but it's not going to be quite yet. And we all know that it's going to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions. Even though we had to go through this matchup tonight to see who would win, that really didn't even make sense because everybody wanted a chance, right? Y2J wanted a chance, Roman Reigns wanted a chance, Kane, Randy Orton, they all wanted a chance, yet they were put on the same team, so...
Yeah, I thought he was going to face each of them individually in separate matches. That made no sense to put them on a 6-man tag team match.
Yeah.
So.
I do have a question, though, for you, C-Dub. I've noticed that Roman Reigns, every time he comes out from the side entrance there, is it possible that perhaps before he comes out, before his team, he is relieving himself in the restroom?
There could be definitely a chance of that. You kind of caught me off guard with that one. I would assume when nature calls, I mean, even a powerhouse like Roman Reigns can't help but answer it. But getting back to, Roman Reigns in the title picture, like you said, I don't think it's time yet for Roman Reigns to be inserted in there into the hunt. I feel like that's what they're building to at WrestleMania 31. Whether or not Daniel Bryan is back in the picture or not at that point, I feel like that's going to be the big money matchup of 2015 at WrestleMania.
All right, the next match, Cesaro teamed up with The Miz, who came out with his stunt double there, Damien Sandow. They faced off with Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler. Corey, what happened in this pretty intriguing matchup?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see the Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler and the United States Champion Sheamus team up against, of course, the two #1 contenders, The Miz and Cesaro. I thought it did a good job of building anticipation for the upcoming matches, which I assume at this point are going to be at Night of Champions. It's looking like Sandow's alliance with The Miz will be an ongoing thing. It still really does nothing for Sandow or The Miz in my mind. The crowd was red hot tonight for Dolph Ziggler, deservedly so. Week in and week out, the guy pretty much, he works harder than just about everybody out there. I have a lot of respect for what he does in the ring. Tonight, Miz and Cesaro got the win after Damien Sandow interfered, trying to pull his little stunt double thing, which allowed The Miz to hit his finisher, the skull-crushing finale, for a cheap victory.
What'd you think of the matchup, Retro?
Well, I thought it was interesting, especially The Miz as he was sitting down there in his chair getting makeup put on him, and Damien Mizdow was shouting instructions to the makeup artist, and I just thought it was even more reasons to hate The Miz. They're doing a great job of making him really annoying.
Yeah, you got a victory today.
And for some reason, he keeps protecting his moneymaker, or finding ways to protect his moneymaker, which I don't know how he does it, but
yeah. We'll see what happens. Of course, they're going to clash once again. I'm sure they're at the Night of Champions. The title will be on the line. We'll see if The Miz can actually reclaim it. Now, C-Dub, we've got a couple little segments here from the Bellas. It was really Nikki Bella,
growing up Bella,
who was really putting it all out on the line, and it was some touching stuff. Can you give us a psychological breakdown here of what we saw tonight?
Well, I think you really touched on something, no pun intended, whenever you said that it was a touching segment. These series of video packages with Nikki basically talking down about her sister and growing up together, it certainly touched me right around the bowels. It pretty much was the worst series of segments. Since last week's Bella segment, I could care less about this feud. We're kind of forced to talk a little bit more about this later. Stephanie McMahon was involved here. The video packages were terrible. It was a great opportunity, guys, to hit the fridge for a sandwich, some other kind of snack, or maybe an adult beverage.
And we actually also got to see all of the Divas collide in the ring, including our favorite flame head here, Eva Marie. Man, she looks good, C-Dub.
Yeah, I mean, these gals are certainly easy on the eyes. We saw Layla, Summer Rae, and Naomi team up against Rosa Mendez, Eva Marie, and Alicia Fox. Quick match, lasted about a minute, turned into a brawl, double DQ. All of it was to promote Season 3 of Total Divas. It's nice to see these girls, but I feel like they could have just put in a video promo instead of wasting this quick segment on this match.
I know. I'd rather see them in person, but I cannot wait for Season 3 of Total Divas.
Yes, we can't wait for your breakdown, Retro Bret. That will be excellent. Definitely make sure to get on that.
Oh, I'll definitely do it.
All right, we had over 1,400 pounds of humanity in the ring at once. Corey, this was a spectacle and a sight to behold, even with WWE standards.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, man. We had the world's largest tag team, Mark Henry and The Big Show, taking on the Wyatt followers, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Man, like you said, 1,400 pounds of just awesome power. I thought this was a great matchup. I thought this was certain that we would see it eventually with all four of these behemoths squaring off. I thought that, it wasn't exactly what I expected as far as the typical slow, methodical pace that a lot of big guys have. Harper and Rowan do a great job of not only being giants, but, they're also pretty quick in the ring. In the end, Rusev interfered as the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, prepared to hit Luke Harper with his world's strongest slam finisher. And Rusev took Mark Henry out. Big Show and Mark Henry get the win by disqualification. Post-match, Harper attempted to hit the Big Show with a steel chair. The Giant was having none of it and punched the chair right back into his face. Mark Henry gets up and recovers and stares down Rusev, who then retreated to the entrance ramp with his manager, Lana. Guys, I have a feeling we're going to see Rusev taking on Mark Henry very, very soon.
Yep, and I think more things later on in the night would probably allude to that as well, C-Dub. We got a pretty cool appearance tonight from Paul Heyman, Retro Bret. What did you think about that, as he always has got something to say?
Well, I just find it ridiculous that he keeps reminding us what his name is. I mean, we already know his name. The ring announcer says his name. Let's welcome Paul Heyman. So I don't understand why he keeps reminding us. Maybe that's just his thing.
Yeah.
Just more of a thing to be annoying. But he did what he always does, build up his client, build up the next match, and put Cena down a little bit. So yeah. I think anytime we see Paul Heyman, yes, he's annoying, but he's always entertaining and very, very enthusiastic.
Yeah, of course, it's basically a weekly ritual that we have now on Raw, is the Paul Heyman appearance. It used to be, of course, trying to front Cesaro. Now it's fronting Brock Lesnar. And looks like we won't really get to see Brock Lesnar in action until this next match, Night of Champions. Corey, what did you think about this Paul Heyman appearance tonight?
Well, like you said, it's almost a weekly ritual at this point where Paul Heyman comes out and just cuts a usual 5-star big money promo. I mean, the fact of the matter is, guys, who needs the WWE Champion live on Raw every single week whenever you have a guy like Paul Heyman, who is such a great speaker and storyteller out there? He's really the last great pro wrestling manager. I mean, he can get all the heat going he needs for his client and the matchup with John Cena. I mean, no Brock every week on Raw is a good thing in my estimation. It means we don't have the WWE Champion on Raw every week, and it makes those rare appearances can't miss viewing, just like Paul Heyman said. Heyman does more building for the rematch in Nashville, and I have a feeling that it's going to be tough, whether it's Cena or one of the other contenders in the title picture, for anybody to unseat Brock Lesnar.
Now, I actually am an advocate of more Brock Lesnar in the ring. Not a ton more. I just wish they would throw us a bone because, let's face it, we've seen him against The Undertaker, then we saw him against Cena, and that's it.
And both matches were decimating matches. He destroyed both.
Yeah, I mean, he's got this really intriguing style. It's crazy to watch. It's almost like, I don't know, it's just it's must-see TV. When he is actually fighting. And I know a lot of that has to do with the fact that he doesn't fight that much, but he's only had 2 matches. I wish they would kind of put him out there just to let us see him again. I thought they would feed a jobber to him at least here. That's not the case. It looks like we'll have to wait to see him against John Cena once again.
He's beyond jobber status. Unlike Rusev, he doesn't need jobbers. To him, John Cena's a jobber.
Apparently, that's how he treated him there at SummerSlam. Jack Swagger got a victory tonight, Corey. Pretty interesting match, but Bo Dallas had a response.
Yeah, we saw Jack Swagger with a returning Zeb Coulter. Of course, he's been out since SummerSlam when Rusev attacked him after their match between Swagger and Rusev. Tonight, Swagger took on Curtis Axel. Notable by his absence is Ryback. I understand Ryback's going to be taking a hiatus from WWE here. Hopefully we'll see him come back bigger and better than ever. Tonight we saw Curtis Axel tap out to the Patriot Lock from Jack Swagger. His win, however, was interrupted by Bo Dallas up on the stage, who introduced us to 3 Bo Leavers who were counting on Swagger defending the honor of America at SummerSlam against Rusev, and they were let down. Guys, this was a pretty comical segment. It was funny, but it didn't really get much of a reaction live. What was it? Let's see. We had the one guy who he gambled his entire life savings.
And the
one guy, that's Richie, Corey. Let's pay respect. Poor Richie gambled his life savings on Jack Swagger, and he failed to win, meaning Richie's not broke.
I think his family is going to lose the farm or something.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy. Then we saw, who was it? Angelo, I believe he is an Italian immigrant who just so happens he's going to get deported because of Jack Swagger losing. And then, come on, guys. Really, is this how they're going to build up a feud? I mean, they're doing no favors for Jack Swagger here. I'm looking forward to seeing him kick Bo Dallas's ass, that's for certain.
Retro Bret, you are a well-known Bo Dallas non-believer.
I'm a Bo Dallas hater.
Did this segment change anything for you?
No, but it was kind of interesting, the ideas that they come up with, and a good way to stick Vladimir Putin's picture up on the Jumbotron again, when I think it was Jennifer's son doesn't want to be like Jack Swagger anymore. He wants to be like Vladimir Putin. But as in regards to Ryback there, Corey, I don't think he can come back much bigger than he already is.
Yeah, good point, Retro Bret.
He might explode.
Make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2. Corey, I have one more question for you as we conclude part 1 here. We will be talking about I don't even know what to call it, a not really that exciting match between Adam Rose and Titus O'Neil that involved the Bunny. My question to you, C-Dub, of course, we're looking forward to WWE 2K15. Will the Bunny be a playable character?
It most certainly could. Adam Rose and the Fart Blossoms took on Titus O'Neil with Heath Slater. The most exciting part of the match, the Bunny hits a double leg takedown and beats down Heath Slater. Guys, make sure to stay tuned. Hopefully it's going to get uphill from here on Raw Reactions. No more Adam Rose after that. Make sure to stay tuned for part 2 coming right up. Subscribe if you haven't already. For RJ and Retro Bret, stay trippy, guys.
Stay tuned for part 2.